Hello everyone, welcome to another session of Python board. Sorry, today's class we try to discuss about operators, mainly operators. We concentrate on mainly operators concept. So what are the different operators that we have in Java? Then some of the concepts that we have left out in the previous session that we try to discuss. So there are topics like the formatted output with the printf method, then static variables and methods, and then attribute final. So these things we have left out in the previous session. So that I'm going to cover today. Okay. So I'll just go through this formatted output. See here. See, formatted output means printing my output in the way I require. That means if you want to print the output in the middle of the screen, or if you want to left out some spaces behind a number, okay, so those things are nothing but formatting. Formatting means I can just show you a small example. See here, I am taking a variable p, which is of value 73. If you simply write like the system.out.printf %d and %d slash n comma p, like we write in C programming. If you write similarly, then your output will be printed like this, 73, simply 73, which is left justification. So it is printed to the output screen left side. What if you want to print your 73 number after leaving 20 spaces? Okay, so system.out.printf %, you write a pipe symbol there, then %20d. 20d means you need to leave 20 spaces. 20 spaces వదిలేసి మీ అవుట్పుట్ ఇక్కడ ప్రింట్ అవ్వాలంటే ఇలా మనం %20d అని రాయాలి ఇన్ బిట్వీన్ ద బ్రాకెట్స్, like in between this pipe symbol. Okay, comma p. Similarly, system.out.printf -20d. -20d అంటే మీనింగ్ ఏంటంటే లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ వాల్యూ ప్రింట్ అయ్యి ఆ తర్వాత మీకు 20 స్పేసెస్ వదిలేయాలి. Okay, it should leave 20 spaces after your output is printed. Okay, if you want to print another number, then after this 20 spaces your number will be printed from this. ఇక్కడ నుంచి మీ number print అవుతుంది. Okay, so to do that you need to write -20d. Okay, so this is called formatting. Formatting my output means output ni మనం ఎలా కావాలంటే అలా డిస్ప్లే చేసుకోవడానికి మాకు ఒక ప్రొవిజన్ ఉందన్నమాట. Okay, that is called formatting output. Okay, in general, to do this formatting, there are two ways. One is we can use the printf method, which is of same thing in C language, but you need to write system.out.printf. Okay, otherwise you can use a class called formatter. Formatter అని చెప్పి ఒక క్లాస్ కోడ్ ఉంది, దాన్ని కూడా మనం యూటిలైజ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. But I'll try to discuss that formatting in the later section because we have some examples through which we can discuss. So there you need to write something like system.out.format. Okay, so system.out.format, that is the method we use, and then no need to write this %d and everything. Okay, so like that we can use formatter method, but as if now we try to use only the printf method. So printf method is same as that in C language, like we use in C language. The same concept here. If you want to print an integer, it is represented with %d. If you want to print a float number, then you will write %f. Okay, and then if you want to print a character, you write %c. If you want to print a string, then we use %s. Okay, so similar things which we use in C language. Right? So that is about the formatting of a integer numbers. Next, the following of the floating point numbers involve the following three parameters. So this this representation, we have three things here. One is field width, okay, which is specified by percentage. Percentage sign ఇచ్చి ఆ తర్వాత మనం ఎంత స్పేస్ కావాలో మెన్షన్ చేయాలి. Okay, whether it is a right justification or left justification. If it is a right justification, then we can use positive number. If it is a left justification, then we use minus. Okay. Okay. So floating point representations, obviously floating point, in the previous thing we have seen about the integer representation, but floating point representations are somewhat different. Okay, we have this 0.3 and everything. So I'll just show you. Okay. So floating point representation is somewhat different. So you need to write like this: percentage, the percentage symbol, but 0.2f. The meaning of 0.2f is after the decimal point, I require only two values. So it will print 1. And then the precision. Precision is, for example, if you specify .3f, it will specify 3 digits after the decimal point. That is what I have shown in the example, right? Okay. Now, we'll go with the operators concept. So basically, operators are nothing but a symbol which performs a specific task. Okay, so you know clearly about what is operators. So already we have learned about the different operators in C++. All these operators are also same thing. Okay, like some are there are two different operators which are included in this but all the operators which we learn in C programming, same will be repeated here. So let's try to understand what is an operator. The Java provides a rich operator environment. So most of the operators can be divided into 4 categories: arithmetic, bitwise, relational, logical. So these are the 4 different categories of operators which we often use. Okay, but there are some other operators also which we rarely use the operators. Okay. So the basic categories are arithmetic, bitwise, relational, logical operators. Next. Operators, we'll try to learn about operators in the meanwhile, in the next slide. But if you need to understand something called precedence and associativity of operators. What is this precedence? Precedence is nothing but the priority that we are giving to the operators. Suppose if an expression containing more than one operator, then which operator has to be executed first? That is our question. Okay. So at that time, we may get confused or the compiler may get confused. So to avoid this confusion, already for every programming language, we have a precedence for evaluating the operators in which order they need to evaluate. Okay. So we have a table here. So you can observe the table here. So the first thing is the first operators that are executed is plus plus and minus minus. If it is a postfix or prefix, whatever. Okay. So these are the operators which are going to be evaluated first. After that, multiplication, division, and getting the remainder. These are the three operators having the second priority. Then after that, plus and minus. After that, shift operators, right shift, left shift operators. Then after that, relation operators. Then equality operators. Then again, bitwise and exponent operator or all these things. Okay, so these are the highest to lowest, the precedence of the operators. So if you if you remember this table, then it is very easy to evaluate the expressions, right? So we need to remember this table. Next, parenthesis also plays the major role. As we know that the parenthesis is considered as the highest rate of highest priority. Okay. Example here, A right shift B plus 3. So we have something called A right shift B plus 3. Okay. So here we will obviously will get confused that which operator has to be performed first. So we have two operators. One is right shifter and then one is a plus operator. But according to the table, so plus is executed first and then after that is right shift operation. So from that we can easily say that A right shift B plus 3. So this B plus 3 will be evaluated first and then after that the resultant value will be right shifted with some particular number. Okay, but if you have clearly mentioned this bracket, so we can, it is evident that bracket lo unnadi first execute avutundi. Okay, that is if you have a bracket. So if you have a bracket for this A right shift B, then this is evaluated first and then after it is added to 3. Okay. So that is what the precedence and associativity. Next we have the arithmetic operators. So we have all these arithmetic operators. Plus for addition, minus for subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, okay, increment and decrement operator. Then compound assignment operator, that is plus equal to, minus equal to. Okay, so plus equal to and if at all A is equal to A plus B and Y A plus is equal to B and Y. Okay, so I'll show you here something like, if you want to write A is equal to A plus B. Okay, so this can be written like A plus is equal to B. Okay, like this we can write. So this is called as the compound assignment operator. With the help of any arithmetic operator, equal to will be added, right? So that is here all the things. So I'll just give an example here. Okay, so for your convenience, I'll try to execute this program and make you understand that how the operations are performed. So and paste this. So here clearly you can see that A is equal to 1. I have given B is equal to 2. And C is equal to 3. After that, I am doing some arithmetic operators. All the arithmetic of A plus is equal to 5, B into 4, C plus is equal to 8. So what do we say is equal to 5? A is equal to A plus 5. That means what is value of A is 1, 6. So you will get the A as a 6. After that, B into is equal to 4. That means B is equal to B into 4. What is B? 2. 2 into 4, 8. Okay. So you'll get B as an 8. So like that, you will get the output. So I'll just compile it and execute it for you so that you can get the answer and make understand that how the output is getting on this particular. P equals to temperature. I don't know why it's taking so much time. Might be a problem in the system. Then I'll execute the program. So okay. So you can see the values of A is equal to 6, B is equal to 8, C is equal to 3. Okay. How I am getting the values is A plus is equal to 5, which is 1 plus 5, 6. Then again B2 is equal to 4. That means 2 into 4, 8. Then C is equal to C plus A into B. Okay. What are the values of A, B? A, B's are okay. The values of A and B are nothing but here 6 and 8. 8, 6 are 48. 48 plus 3, 51. Okay, 51. So C value is 51. Then what he is doing is he is dividing the 51 by 6. Okay. So what is the so C plus is equal to A into B. I think A into B is 6 here. So whatever the calculation, so it just giving the output for me. Okay, so the thing is here you need to understand this compound assignment operator. Okay, these operators, how these compound assignment operators will work, right? So that is about the arithmetic operators we have. Then increment and decrement operators. Obviously, we know about this increment decrement operators, which will increases the value. So when you write x plus plus, x is incremented by 1. Similarly, x minus. But the difference is that you write these operators with the help of assignment. Example, see x is equal to 42. When you perform y is equal to plus plus x, it will increase the value of x by 1 and store it in the value y. So what is the y value here? 43. Okay, the same thing. But here is something different. X is equal to 42. You are writing x is y is equal to x plus plus. So this is called a pre-increment. This is called post-increment. So pre-increment is somewhat different from post-increment. Post-increment means first of all, the x value will be assigned to y. Then after, it is increased to one value after. So when you say that this statement, what is the value of y is? It is only 42. Value of y is only 42. X is incremented by 1. So x becomes 43. Okay, when you print the same thing, you will get the same result. Okay, now. So here, first of all, it will assign the value to y. Then after, plus plus will be happened because there are two operators involved here. One is equal to and one is a plus plus. Okay, so first of all, assignment is done. Then x value 42, which is assigned into y. Then after that, x is incremented by 1. So you will get the x value as 43. That is what the difference between these two things. So same thing, A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2, C into C and D. So when you perform C is equal to plus plus B. Okay, C is equal to plus plus B. Nothing but p value is incremented to 2, so incremented to 1 and stored in C. So what is the C value? 2 initially. So C value is 2, sorry, it is 3, and B value becomes also 3. Then D is equal to A plus plus. First of all, A value will be assigned to D. What is A value? 1. So D becomes 1, then A becomes 2. Okay. Now again you write C plus plus. So C plus plus, C value contains 3. When you return C plus plus, it becomes 4. So C value becomes 4. Okay. A value 2, then B value 3, then D value 1. So because here D is equal to A means A value is initialized to D first. So D becomes 1. Then A is incremented, A becomes 2. So like that, we'll get the answer here. Okay. Next. So similarly, bitwise operators we have. So bitwise operators are ampersand, pipe symbol, exclusive OR, then right shift operation, left shift operation, all these things. So you can again refer to the same C programming concepts here. So bitwise AND means it works on bit level. Suppose if you take, I'll just show you the example. So suppose if A is equal to some 1010, this is bit level, then B is equal to something 1101. Okay. Then what if you perform? So what if you perform the AND operation? A and percent B. Okay. Then otherwise it is 0. So in this case, we get the answer as 1 0 because both the outputs are 1. Then only resultant is 1. Otherwise, it is 0. Okay. If it is A or B, then either of the numbers are 1, then the resultant is 1. Okay. So in this case, you will get all ones. రెండిట్లో ఏది 1 అయినా 1. కాకపోతే లేకపోతే రెండు 0 అయితే 0. Okay. So that is how. Okay. Then we have something called A. Cap symbol is there. Exclusive operator. Okay. This is exclusive operator B. Then here, if both the values are same, రెండు ones ఉన్నా రెండు zeros ఉన్నా 0 వస్తుంది ఆన్సర్, otherwise 1 వస్తుంది. Like that, we'll perform bitwise operators here. Okay. Next. So here, that is what he has shown here. So A, B అయితే కనుక A or B అయితేనేమో 2 0 అయితే 0. సో రెండిట్లో ఏది 1 అయినా సరే టోటల్ రిజల్టెంట్ 1. A and B అయితే రెండు కూడా ట్రూ అయితేనే ట్రూ అవుతుంది, అదర్వైజ్ అన్ని ఫాల్స్ అన్నమాట. So here A cap B, that means exclusive OR. We are performing exclusive OR. Exclusive OR in the sense rendu equal అయితే 0, others అయితే different, 1 also. So that shown here. Next, shift operators. So basically shift operators, there are two types of shift operators, left shift and right shift. So this symbol is called as a left shift operation. So what happens with the left shift is it will shift the value by some number. Okay, suppose A is equal to 64 and number తీసుకున్నారు. Now I am shifting this A by 2. That means 2 times I am shifting. Okay. So what happens is if you perform left shift operation, for every operation it is multiplied by 2. Okay. It is multiplied by 2. Adhe right shift operation perform cheste it is divided by 2. Suppose example, so he has taken 64, right? What is the binary number of 64 is something like 8421 code. If you follow 8421 code, then we have 16 32, 64. Okay, so the binary number of 64 is this is the binary number of 64. So if you perform the left shift operation, one will be moved to one time left. అంటే వన్ అనేది ఒక్కసారి మూవ్ అవుతుంది. సో నా విల్ గెట్ వన్. అగైన్ మళ్ళీ మనం ఇంకోసారి లెఫ్ట్ షిఫ్ట్ ఆపరేషన్ పెర్ఫామ్ చేస్తే $256. So your number will be 256. Okay. So when you perform the right shift operation of left shift operation of A, you will get 256. Okay, that I can show. I'll show it in another time because here I have to write a program and save it with some name and execute it. So the thing is, when you right shift, when you left shift your operation by 2 times, okay, then the 64 number will be automatically will get 256 answer. Next, if you perform right shift operation, it will be divided by the number by 2. So 32 divided by 2, okay, which will get 16. But here he has said that and again 16 will be divided by 2, you will get 8. So answer will be 8. Divided by 2. Okay. Something called this is ternary operator, which already you know in C language. Ternary operator means it is something like if else statement. Okay. So first expression 1 will be written here, question mark, and then if it is true, then this will be executed. Is evaluated. Otherwise, 3 is evaluated. So that already we know that, which is already learned in C program. Okay. So these are the different operators we have. I'll just show you since we have time. So I'll just show you what are these right shift and left shift operations. string also. System dot out dot value of a if you want to print. Okay. So I have done with the program. Now I have to save this. So I'll first try to type the LFT, search LFT. So I'll try to save it down some name. LFT. So I'll try to save this. Now I can execute the program. So I need to write this here, something called a is equal to a is equal to x, because I need to assign the values to some variable. So save it again. Save. Incompatible lossy condition. Okay. I take into account. Now it is executed. So I'll just take again. Compilation is done, and I'll try to execute it. Same thing with the divide చేస్తే 2 తో you will get 32. Then again ఇంకోసారి divide చేస్తే 16. So possibly we'll get the answer as 16. Okay, let me check. Compile again. Execute. See, the value is 16. So this is how the left shift and right shift operations are done. The remaining operations already you know that how they are used. And this expression ternary operator is something like same it as a if else statement. Okay. The examples of parenting we are asked to suppose int a is equal to sum 40 value is given, and again sum b is equal to 20. Okay. So then you can write a statement here saying that a greater than b. Okay, if it is a greater than b, then question mark print a, otherwise colon print b. So a greater than b అయితే a print అవ్వాలి, false అయితే b print అవ్వాలి. So according to the values I have given, 40 is greater than 20. So obviously it will print a as a result, which is 40. So this is how the ternary operator works. So that is about the operators. Now we know we learned the operators in two languages, which is in Java, which is in C and C++. Python also already covered in the last semester. So I think you are aware of all these things, right? So that's it.